Hi guys, it's Annie. Welcome back to Bloom TV. Today I am going to do my December TBR, and which I don't normally do on this channel. I find TBRs really restrictive, but I decided this month, since it's Christmas, I might as well do one. And I'm also going to do, this is kind of incorporated in with a Friday Reads video, so you can see what I'm reading at the moment. And I've actually already read one book in December, so I was on my TBR pile and I made a TBR post for my blog, so this is what I'm kind of going with. And I have 5 books on my TBR, and to be honest, I will probably read more than that. I have a 2-week holiday which begins kind of, I think, 1 week is in December and 1 week in January, and although I will be really busy, I thought I'm still going to have a lot of time to read, and I know there's a lot of time I have off school, kind of with rehearsals and stuff, and I'm not going to be too busy with work, so I'm probably am going to read quite a lot this month. But the first book that I did read, and the first book that was on my TBR, is Elizabeth is Missing by Emma Healy, and this is an adult crime novel which is about a old woman called Maud who has Alzheimer's, which is something that happens in my family, so this is partly why I picked this book up. It's something that my grandma suffers from, and it's something that we think is probably going to be something that will be inherited. And it focuses on Maud, and she is trying to solve a mystery of her best friend Elizabeth, and this follows 2 plot lines: when Maud is a teenager and when Maud is 82, I think she's in this novel, and it follows these 2 plot lines together, and they kind of interweave towards the end, and they're 2 mysteries. And this was a really good book, but I'm not really going to go into that. I'll go into that in my wrap-up, but this is a really excellent book, and it's very mystery-filled, and I would, if you like crime books, I'd really recommend picking this up. And then the book I'm actually reading at the moment, so this is like the Friday Reads section of my video, is Timeless by Gail Carriger, and this is book number 5 in the Parasol Protectorate series, and it's the last book in the series, and I have been putting off reading this book for quite a few weeks now, since I read Heartless, which is the 4th book, because I just really don't want to finish this series. I've been reading this series since like September or the beginning of October, and it's such a great paranormal kind of alternate universe series. I've talked about it a lot on my channel, and I really love Gail Carriger as an author, and I really love her work. So yeah, really gutted. I've only read the first chapter, so like 18 pages, but yeah, hoping to finish this. I'm hoping to finish this kind of this weekend. And then the next book I've got on my TBR is something I think a lot of people have on the December TBRs, and it is My True Love Gave to Me by Stephanie Perkins, who, well, she edited this novel. Well, it's kind of a collection of short stories. I think it's 12 winter romances, and I'll just quickly list all the authors that contributed to this book, and it is Holly Black, Ali Carter, Matt de la Pena, Gail Foreman, Jenny Hahn, David Leatherton, Kelly Link, Myra McIntyre, Stephanie Perkins, Rainbow Rowell, Lainey Taylor, and Kirsten White. And I've read quite a few of these authors, and quite a few of them are some of my favourite authors anyway. They definitely favourite contemporary authors. And this UK edition is so lovely. Like, it's got bright pink, like, kind of edges to the page, which are like fluorescent. It's not really coming up on the camera. This kind of lovely gold plating, foiling, I don't know, like neon pink, this really lovely mint colour, and then the end pages is this gorgeous pattern, like with like, it's really bright pink, and they have like little illustrations at the beginning of the stories, and I'll try and find an example like this one. And it's so cute, and I'm just really excited to read this. And I've decided that I'm going to read 1 story per day, I think starting on the 11th of December, and I'm going to read 1 for like leading up to Christmas Eve, so I'm going to read 1 per day, just like before I go to bed, because these are about 30 pages each per story, and I am really excited to start this. Especially, I'm really looking forward to the stories by Gail Foreman, Jenny Hahn, David Leatherton, Stephanie Perkins, Rainbow Rowell, and Lainey Taylor, because I really love those authors. And yeah, I've heard really good things about this so far, and I just think it's going to get me in the Christmas spirit. And then the book I featured in my last book haul, which I'm also hoping to read in December, is Girl Reading by Katie Ward, and this is the book that Alice sent me. to read. It's one of her favourites, and it is, I think, a collection of stories which kind of intertwine, all focusing on women reading, and it's kind of goes over a period, so from the Renaissance period up until the modern day in 2008, which I think is kind of roughly around when this was published. No, this was published 2011. I'm wrong. But yeah, kind of spanning a really long period of time, and I'm so excited but very nervous to read this, because this is the sort of thing that I do not read very much of. It is a genre kind of that intimidates me as literary fiction. There's some books which I've really loved from that genre and really, really adored, and there's other books which I've been really intimidated by, but this is one of Alice's favourites, so I'm definitely going to give it a go. And it's also got a little quote from Hilary Mantel on the front, who I haven't read any of her books, because historical fiction is not I love it as a genre, but it's not something I read a lot of, but I'm really interested in reading some more of Hilary Mantel's work, well, not more, but some of Hilary Mantel's work, and I have been told by my mum and also by quite a few of my friends that she's a really impressive public speaker and really speaks with a lot of, I don't know, my mum was saying that she's really just a wonderful speaker, and the way that she speaks about her work is so lovely and very, she's a very intelligent woman, and that makes me want to read a lot of her books. And she also just published a short story about the a fictional assassination of Margaret Thatcher, which I'm very interested in reading. But that is a very long tangent, but yes, we'll hopefully get to this in December. Although I'm not sure. It is quite short though, that's a bonus, because I am so intimidated. And the next book I've got on my TBR, and also the last book I've got on my TBR, is not a short book at all, and it is A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin, and this is the second book in a Song of Ice and Fire series, which is so popular. This is the HBO tie-in edition, which I think is horrifically ugly. I started reading this right after I finished the first book, and I really loved the first book. I gave it 5 stars, and I just thought it was absolutely amazing. Really, definitely one of my favourite books of the year. And I started reading this right afterwards because I was so invested in the world and the characters, and I just wanted to carry on reading. I then this is 1,000 pages, and I got about 200 pages in, and I'd only read 200 pages in 2 weeks. Which, if you know kind of how much I read regularly, is really quite a small portion for me, and I was really struggling, and it was putting me in a massive reading slump, so I just decided to put it down. But I've decided that December is the month when I will pick this back up again, and I will try to finish this, you could really kill someone with this book, kind of scarily. I just really want to carry on with it because I really want to get up to date with this series, up till the final volume, which has been published, which is A Dance with Dragons, which was published a couple of years ago. I want to get up to date with it so I can start watching the show, and I really want to carry on, but I'm so scared because I do know quite a few of the deaths, and I'm just so scared about them. But I'm really excited to be introduced into new characters. I don't know when, is it Marjorie Tyrrell is introduced? I think she's possibly might be introduced in this book or one of the next volume, and I'm really excited. I am not going to start again from the beginning. Yeah, I got up to page 238. I'm not going to start again from the beginning, but I am going to, try and conquer on, and hopefully I'll really enjoy it this time. So those are all the books that I hope to read in December, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to stick to this TBR. I'm definitely going to read the 12 Winter Stories, and I'll definitely finish Timeless by Gail Carriger. The other 3, the other 2, one of them I've already read. The other 2 I'm not so sure about. I'm quite intimidated about reading those, but I hope you're all having a lovely day, and tell me down in the comments what books you're reading this weekend. Bye!